Good morning and happy Sunday. Here is me in my kitchen. Hello, my name is Rochelle. I have a blog called Feeding a Crowd, and I am available on Facebook. I am on Instagram, Pinterest, and here on YouTube. I love to talk about food, gardening, preserving, dehydrating, health, and cooking. I love vintage recipes, and I love sharing my passion for cooking and baking and everything else in between. So here I am on this beautiful early May Sunday. It's May 4th. I'm sure there's someone's birthday today. So happy birthday. We have so many birthdays in my family in May. It's awesome. I have two coming up, two very special people in my life, which I hope I'll see today. And as in the title, I always try to keep up with fads. I do not like health fads. I do not like super diets. I do not like what people call superfoods. I like there's something that irritates me when we all go out and do something, and it's not that I haven't tried them. It's just that at some point I realize how silly it is to go on a fad, be it like no carbs, no gluten, no sugar. Actually, no sugar is always good. Just go away, no sugar. Let's do no sugar, no plastic, people. Okay, rant over. Um, so I'm not a big fan of fads. And I was wondering, because I've been reading a lot about polyphenols, and I hope I'm saying it properly, but that's how I'm going to say it for the rest of the show. And I was worried that it was a fad. There's so much health in eating a variety of foods. There's so much about eating a variety of vegetables in our lives. We shouldn't just be eating all fish. We shouldn't be eating all grains or all pasta or all meat or all raw meat, or we shouldn't be eating all soy products. We need to eat a bit of everything. I think that it's better for us to be really conscious that the more variety we have, the better it is. We should be eating raw vegetables, not just cooked vegetables. Some cooked vegetables, their properties come out when different properties, not their properties. So different properties will sometimes come out once they're baked or cooked or parboiled or steamed. And then they have different properties, health benefits when they're raw. So you can have them raw or cooked, and that's what we should be doing. But we should be eating some raw veggies every day, and then have some cooked if we want. I don't want to eat raw potato on any given day. So there you go. But still, just proving a point here. Since I've been reading a lot about polyphenols, and I was like, oh no, not a new fad, not like a new vitamin that everyone's going to go, and these polyphenol pushing people are going to go out and create a supplement, and everyone's going to go and buy it in the hopes of replacing, the fact that we don't eat enough vegetables, and especially not a good enough variety of vegetables. So today my focus is on like explaining polyphenols, and that they've always been there. They're not new, and we have them when we eat a variety. Actually, they're also very present in tea, in green tea especially, but tea and fruits and vegetables. So they're what creates the color, right? So what are polyphenols? They're a natural compounds found in plant, and they give fruit and veggies the flavor, aroma, and color. I wonder if when you have like strawberries or fruit that stop smelling, if they lack they have less polyphenols. Just a question in my brain. And they act as an antioxidant and support gut health. Just like this is like the simplest version of what they do. But basically, fruit and vegetables are already so good for us, from the fiber to the vitamin C to the vitamin D to every other good stuff. But they also contain a lot of polyphenols. So polyphenols are like tiny warriors in your body. They help fight inflammation, and they're the feel-good bacteria in your gut. So let's go polyphenol. And then you think, well, why should we care this much? Am I exaggerating? Um, no, I guess not, because when I'm passionate about something, I don't think it's exaggeration. I think it's passion and it's the truth. And we waste, let's not, we don't eat the veggies. We often waste them, and we should just think every day, just eat it. If you're not going to cook it, eat it raw or freeze it. Anyways, so polyphenols, well, actually, vegetables in general are known to reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and some cancers. They also support brain health via gut-brain connection. We need to study that more. That's fancy. And they help balance blood sugar and reduce inflammation. So science shows that these little guys may even affect your mood through your gut, because we all know that gut health is key to so much of how we feel and act and react every day to what's happening, to viruses around us, to, energy, and on and on. So you're thinking, okay, is this like, do I have like to buy like a gazillion avocados now and eat 8 cups of broccoli in a day? Actually, you don't. It's so much simpler than that. In the fruits, we're going to go for examples: the berries, grapes, apples, pomegranates. The more colorful, it seems to me, the vegetable, the more polyphenols you have. um, Vegetables, you think onion, spinach, broccoli, um, probably sweet potato, kale, you know, all good examples. In drinks, we have them in green tea, coffee, and red wine. But, let's not go with red wine that much. Let's just eat the grapes instead. Pantry stars, olive oil, dark chocolate. Yum. Let's have dark chocolate. I'm going to go with dark chocolate. And flax seeds. And introducing flax seeds in your diet is always a good idea. And introducing it early to the kids also is. It's just you start small. You put it somewhere where it won't matter too much. And spices are turmeric, cinnamon, and cloves. Again, everything that feels colored and smells, the aroma, think that you have polyphenols when it comes to that. So the more color on the plate, the more polyphenols you're likely eating. So endives probably don't have as much polyphenols, or let's say maybe or probably cauliflower. Not that you shouldn't eat them, there just won't be full of polyphenols. Polyphenols are easy to get by. You don't need a ton of it to have the effects of polyphenols, which is awesome, isn't it? So the one thing I want to caution everyone about, because polyphenols are easy to get by, supplements are not a thing you should do. Supplements, when it comes to polyphenols, you just need to stay away from. Real food is better than the pill. The pill will not take care of it. It's not, you can't capture polyphenols in a pill. And those that say they do are probably not telling the truth. Ooh. Okay, so supplements don't always deliver the same benefits. Too much can upset gut balance. So when you're taking supplements, it might be, when you eat the fruit, you have the fiber, you have the color, you have the every other vitamin, you have a complete food. When you just take the supplement, you're throwing polyphenols at your body, and it's probably going to affect your gut more than it's going to help you. Stay away from polyphenol supplements, because I don't think, like many other supplements that we throw ourselves at, it's probably not doing what you want it to do. Just have a little bit of fruit in your life. Have a little bit of fun in your life. Nature has already packaged your polyphenols, people, in whole food. And whole foods are important, just like whole chickens. Um, so easy tips for your polyphenols. Let's say this 10 times fast, 20 times, 10, 5 times fast. Polyphenols, polyphenols. Oh, it's easy. Okay, so add a sprinkle of cinnamon to oatmeal, polyphenols. Toss berries in your yogurt or cereal, polyphenols. Sip green tea or a glass of red wine. Never mind the red wine, but sometimes in a while, why not? Cook with colorful herbs and spices. Uh, you know, Eat vegetables before supper. Eat vegetables with supper. Add broccoli. Add fruit to your lunches. I mean, keep the fruit handy. Don't put it away in the fridge where you can't see it. A lot of fruit don't benefit from being in the fridge where you can't see it. Well, it'll rot and you'll end up throwing it away, wasting your money and wasting polyphenols. So keep the food handy, and go at it. So I was wondering about something because, as you know, um, I'm always afraid of talking about fads because I've told you when I started this show that I am against fads when it comes to food and diet and living in today's world. So polyphenols are not a fad. Though lately they've got a lot of trendy attention, but it's good because we want to talk about them. We want to talk about how good they are for us and how eating them makes a difference. You just got to keep at it. You just got to realize that every time you're eating a colorful dish, being at a stir fry, being, whatever goes into your sauce, or when you have a sheet pan of a meal and you add the peppers in there, the bell peppers, and you add the broccoli in there or cabbage. Let's go colorful. Then you're really benefiting from from the whole vegetable. So polyphenols have been studied for decades. So research shows that they have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and gut-supporting properties. They're not a gimmick. They naturally occur in everyday foods like berries, olive, tea, and herbs. They're not a superfood marketing ploy if you're eating real food. What can become faddish is when polyphenols are isolated into powder pills or marketed as miracle supplements. That's when it strays into wellness hype. We do not want it to go into wellness hype. People that go into wellness hype are rarely happy. They're just using it as a way to feel happy. So, bottom line, my people, polyphenols are real. They're beneficial and they're found in many healthy whole foods. The fad is the supplement industry buzz, not the compounds themselves. That makes sense to you? Um, and then when you think about it, um, don't stress about superfoods in your life. You were not made to eat superfoods. Just eat a colorful mix of whole food. Um, that's your best recipe for polyphenol power. Are we good? Did you all get that? Anyways, so yeah, so I think that I'm happy to know that polyphenols are not a fad, that even though some companies are using it, to sell supplements, which is normal. That's what companies are doing. I mean, after all, they made us think we were fish by telling us we had to drink 8 gallons of water a day. Okay, it wasn't 8 gallons, I'm exaggerating. But sometimes you got to exaggerate to get a point across. Yes. So, starting from today and all summer, I'm going to be doing my lives around 10 a.m. because I have full days. It's summer. There's a lot of gardening to do, and I'm so happy. Actually, my pimente de nade, if anyone would want to correct me on that, the little black hot peppers. I actually had dehydrated those black peppers, which are used to make the Carolina Reapers, mind you. That's how hot they are. Okay. And I dehydrated them last year to make, to use the seeds into my recipes as hot chilies. And a few weeks ago, I think actually it was last week, I actually took the seeds out of one of the dehydrated peppers and used it to start my plants for this year. And now you're thinking, but you should do that in February, probably. But I'm in Canada. And frankly, when I buy the hot peppers from wherever, I plant them, they stall for a month. They do nothing. They're in the dirt, they're traumatized, and they don't do anything. I'm going to try something different this year. I started them late, but they're already sprouting. I looked today, so freaking excited. They sprouted. So this works. So if I dehydrate the vegetables that I like at the end of the fall, I'm actually going to be able to use it to start my food next year. So excited. So I used an egg carton. I used good soil. I always forget that everything here is this where the little plants are coming out? No, they're here. The camera people. I don't know if this works, but there's a little plant there. Or there. Where is it? But it's here. There's a little plant there. I'm wasting so much of your time. Look, I have a little sprout. I have two actually. Anyway, so I have quite a few coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God, I think they're all gonna sprout. Super excited about this. Hot sauce coming, people, this fall. So that worked. I worked really hard in my gardens this year. I have 2 new boxes. Now let's not forget that I rent. I have an apartment and in a complex, and I use every available land in the corner which is southwest facing, gets full sun all day, and I use the wall where the sidewalk, so between the sidewalk and the wall, the south facing wall, to plant my tomatoes. Best place to plant the tomatoes, I always say, because the wall gets hot from the sun, and then the plants it's like a mini hot house or something. Tomatoes love being there this year. What I have to do this year, however, is take out the old dirt and put in new dirt, because tomatoes take a lot of vitamins, and I just need new dirt there. Usually I would move them from box to box, but I feel that that's the best space. So instead, I'm going to take out some dirt, use it elsewhere in other beds, and then put in very fresh, rich dirt. So that's what I'm doing for the tomatoes this year. Hopefully, my son will come and help me with that, because that's very backbreaking work. And then, so I have 2 new boxes. So I'm going to have 4 boxes. 2 are 3x6 and 2 are 4x8. They're awesome. I finished working on them. I'm super excited. So one's going to have all the herbs. One has the beets and red onions. Those I planted this week with my granddaughters. So they have their own little section of red onions. Not that they care about onions, but that's what I was planting this week. It's a bit early to plant tomatoes. It's too early to plant peppers. It's too early, in fact, to plant so many plants. We're still going to get some frost, I'm quite sure, and I don't want to take a chance. So there you go. I'm not going to worry about that about planting it this early. But I could plant the carrots. I'm not sure if I will plant carrots. And of course, I do want my eggplants. I want at least the white eggplants, and the little round ones. I think they're Asian. I'm not sure. So I want at least 2 eggplants. Last year I planted cerise de taille, so something. They look like tiny little tomatillos, like little fruit wrapped in a wrapper. And I love those. So I have to find a place. Maybe I'll plant them in a pot instead, because it takes up a lot of room. One plant gets huge. I must have gotten like 30 cups of tomatillos from one plant. It was ridiculous. But I don't want to take room in my box. So I think I'm going to plant them in a pot. I'm just going to wing it. Yeah, so that's what I did this week. And today, more gardening. I'm also building a teepee, a growing teepee for the grandkids. It's so basically, anyways, I'll put it somewhere on my stuff. Hi, Jenny. Welcome to, I just finished ranting about polyphenols, and I'm going to talk about gardening. So this week, am I done talking about gardening? Yeah, I have to plant. Jenny, how do we say cerise de taille in English? Do we know? I call them tomatillos because they're just like that, but they're smaller. But there's another word in English that I forget about. So yeah, so it's yeah, so I think that's pretty much what I'm going to do today. Hopefully, I just want to garden today and probably, work around the house. Well, I call it the house, but it's not a house. And yeah, so I worked on two recipes today. I'm super excited about a new section I'm creating on my blog, which is going to be it's recipes for two. So one or two. Now that the kids have left the roost, I often have to cook a lot smaller, but I still have my brain. Hi, and welcome to my blog, Feeding a Crowd. Happy to see you here. Say hi, please, so I know and I can bug you about questions, silly questions, which I always have. I'm looking for the English word for cerise de taille. I don't think it's tomato something. I don't it may be cherry something. Cherry. I know there's a very simple word for cerise de taille in English. So if anyone can help me with that. And you guys gardening this year? I know. I don't think Jenny will, but maybe I'll convince her to have one box garden. Who knows? They have one box left there. Yep. I know that. I'll do it with the kids, Jenny. I'll do it with the kids, okay? I'll take care of the whole thing. And you can just get yourself a tomato every now and then, even though two of your kids don't like tomatoes. We have to plant chocolate. I think we should plant a cake plant. That was funny. I'll ask the kids. See, there you go. We could make herbs. We could actually have some herbs in there. You know, basil is so great. Just basil, tomatoes. I'll see what I can plant. We'll think about it. And then Phil can help. So, yeah, so I worked on two recipes that are really easy to scale. They came out on the blog earlier. And it's going to go with my recipes for two, which the page isn't open, but the recipes are on the blog area. So I made an orzo risotto. So orzo is a tiny rice-like pasta. And you sort of treat it like a risotto, even though you don't add the liquid a little bit at a time. Super easy recipe, so easy to scale up. I think it's 5 or 6 ingredients. So it's pancetta. I used gray shallots, but you could use any onion if you want. You can add garlic or not. But so let's say you have onion or gray shallots, pancetta, the orzo. You have stock, whichever stock you want, chicken or vegetable, or chicken or vegetables, and then you finish with Parmesan. I added spinach in mine and peas. So it's basically 7 ingredients at this point. I always add spinach, everything, talking about polyphenols. There's a lot in spinach. And so I've been adding spinach to any food that I can think of for health reasons. And so it's so easy because you put the pancetta and then the onions, then you put in the orzo, you just stir it like you would a risotto. And then you add the stock. You cook everything for about 15 minutes. It just drops down. And you add your vegetables, stir everything up, and then add the spinach and peas and just toss it out. And it takes about 25 minutes to make. Like, it's crazy. So the recipe I have there is for two, but you can double, triple, quadruple it, and it's great in lunches. I had it the next day with a bit of lemon juice, and it was like delicious. I absolutely love this recipe. In fact, last night I did the same thing, but I grilled some shrimp. So I had shrimp orzo risotto last night for supper. It took me so little time to do this. So I created the orzo, and then I just dumped everything in my grilled spinach. And I didn't add the Parmesan because I didn't feel I needed it. And I had a bit more lemon at this point. But super simple recipe. Please go take a look at it. In fact, I'm going to show it to you now. Doot, doot. It'll take me just a minute. Give me a minute, please. There it is. And the other super simple recipe that I made this week, and I actually had people over and I made it for them, is a sausage and sweet potato sheet pan. Okay, so I made it for two the first time for me, and shallots. So again, like just a few ingredients. Like, seriously, it was a 5 ingredient meal, and it's here. So let me show it to you. But it's 5 ingredients, okay? And you have sausage, sweet potato, shallots, grainy mustard, and molasses or pomegranate molasses, not molasses, or balsamic vinegar, the condensed version, like the syrup, or honey or maple syrup, but anything to just help glaze everything. This is so easy to scale. It's the simplest supper. You throw the veggies in, you cover with olive oil, you just toss everything, you put the sausage on top with a bit of grainy mustard in the oven 20 minutes. You take everything out, you add whatever glaze you want, the balsamic glaze, the honey, the pomegranate molasses. You put it back in the oven 20 minutes and you have a meal for the family. It's so easy to make, so delicious, and it's wonderful with the sweet potatoes. You could obviously also use just potatoes. You could add broccoli, you could put zucchini, bell peppers. It's so easy to make. To me, it's you look in your fridge, you look at your vegetable drawer with all the food in there, right? All the polyphenols just standing there waiting for you to use them. And you just, you size how you cut your food, and whatever cooks fastest, you make in bigger pieces. What takes the longest, you cut in smaller pieces, and you just make a meal. You just throw everything in there, put the sausage on top, and you got a meal for your family. So I mean, and having sausage as a staple, a good sausage. By the way, I use good sausages, even though I'm sure any sausage will do. You want a butcher's sausage because it has more fat in it, and the fat really helps to add flavor to your vegetables. So feel free to use a good sausage for this food, something that's nice and flavorful. And you obviously don't have to use a grainy mustard. You just could put a barbecue sauce on your sausage, or just salt and pepper and olive oil, So I hope you look at those recipes. And when I have enough recipes for two, then I'm going to open up the tab recipes for two, which I'm super excited about. So that was my day talking about polyphenols, good recipes, and a bit of gardening. And then I'm going to get into my gardening clothes and start digging up sod to work on my patio. So I'm glad you joined me today. Thank you, Jenny, for coming and saying hello. I really appreciate it. And whoever else came on, thank you. I'm going to wish you a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful week. And please cook to your heart content. Please be the artist of your own cooking. And, find joy in your kitchen. It's a fun place to be. You make it fun. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.